Well, hey, welcome back to Trade Skillers Anonymous. I appreciate you checking in with us today. And what we're going to go over today in kind of broad strokes is this build of a sofa table that is Apothecary inspired. However, some modifications were that I didn't want to make these drawers as small as they would seem. So they're much more functional as a deeper drawer. And I'm just going to go over some of the highlights of how it was put together, not necessarily show every piece of every joinery or every saw cut, but just to give you an idea that this is something that you could easily achieve in your home shop if you just give it some time and patience. So thanks again for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. So one of the first things that I would go over is that this joinery for the corner legs, braces, and stretchers can be done in any way that you have available to you. You could use pocket screws, you could use dowels, you could use domino. That's what I did just because I have one, to make this side panel and the corners come together. The top is a little thicker than 3/4 of an inch, and it is attached to the carcass of this sofa table by way of figure-8 clips or tabletop mounting hardware. Coming over to the drawers, what you'll find is that I did not use any metal hardware. These are running on wood dados that I've cut in the drawer sides, and then there's a mating a wood runner on the inside of the cabinet with just a little bit of paste wax used on it. And then I scored a really good deal on some maple and the sapele that the majority of this is made out of. So believe it or not, it was cheaper for me to build these drawer boxes out of maple that I found on Facebook Marketplace at a really, really great deal, along with this sapele. So now when it comes to the main construction of this particular piece of furniture here, this all started out as rough sawn sapele that was 10/4 thick or 2.5 inches thick, and it was rough, and resawed all of it. So first, a few passes through the jointer, then planer and table saw, and then I began breaking it down into the thicknesses that were used for everything that you see here, and all of it came out of 3 pieces of that 2.5 inch thick material that were right at 8 inches wide, and were 10 foot long, so, or excuse me, 12 foot long. So that wood, by the way, was found on Facebook Marketplace for $100. Okay, and as I mentioned in the introduction to this video, this stack of 3 planks that you see here is 2.5 inch thick sapele that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace. What I'm going to do today is start the process of building a sofa table that's a bit of a mashup of a Apothecary style front, but with a little more usefulness built into the cabinet itself. So Apothecary cabinets look great, but for the use that this is going to have, those smaller drawers just aren't going to work. So we're going to do something a little bit different, and today is the day I'm going to start breaking down some lumber. So going to be using some sapele, which is a member of the African mahogany family. It's a great wood to work with, very aromatic, easy to machine, and just a beautiful wood. So I'm going to start today with a 12 foot long, 2.5 inch thick by about 8 inch wide piece of lumber. Going to cut that in half, then I'm going to resaw that wood to get the most usable. So I'm just going to be roughing this out today. So this is 144 inches long. So I'm going to cut this in half, make it a little more manageable, because before I resaw it, I'm going to give it a faced edge and clean up one edge. Sometimes I get questions about, why do you have 2 MFT tables? And I can tell you that this is exactly the reason why. Okay, score 1 for DeWalt. Okay, so the next step in the process, I've checked the square on my fence here, and I'm going to start processing the sapele through. You're going to see me mark with a pencil. I have one relatively good face on this particular board. So you're going to see me mark it with a pencil, and that's really just for a visual way for me to see have I gotten a true flat face. Okay, so having processed this lumber on the joiner, it's now ready for the table saw. So I've got one face flat and one edge 90 degree and flat. So that edge is up against my fence, and I'm using my table saw here to get the opposing edge parallel, but also flat. In relation to the first side that I had just finished jointing there. So there's an awful lot of this activity when you have rough lumber, so I'm not going to bore you with over and over and over the same operations. What'll be coming up next is taking that 2.5 inch thick material and doing some resawing real quick. So at this point, what you're seeing here, I do not have a bandsaw that was capable of making these cuts through this wood. So my resaw method was on my table saw. So in the example that you're seeing on your screen right now, 3 sides of this board are in fact jointed. The side that's facing you is still rough, but the face that's up against the fence is in fact flat, as are the 2 edges, specifically the one on the table saw table and the one that is facing all the way up. And so in order to gain the most material that I could for this build, these 12-foot long boards, and my longest dimension was 70, I think it was 72 inches for the stretchers and so forth, needed to be resawed. So you'll see that when I go in from one side, I flip the board in such a fashion that the same edge is up against the fence when I come back through to do the other cut. Now, it's important to note that don't ever do any cuts on your table saw or any tool that you're not comfortable with. I was comfortable making this cut, and so I did, and everything worked out fine. And once I was finished with the resaw process for all the boards that I needed, they were then faced up again and sent through my planer for final thickness. Okay, and at this point, it really just comes down to some joinery, and you're building a carcass. And on the interior parts that don't show, they were plywood, and edges that do show were banded with sapele. But at this point, it really is just a box, and building it square is certainly important. take your time on the joinery, do the best you can. And like I said earlier, you can use any favored joinery method, whether that's dowels, dominoes, pocket holes, whatever you've got. Run what you brung. So again, this was part of that same lumber purchase I found on Facebook Marketplace, and it will seem possibly a little bit odd to have used it, but this is actually 3/4 inch maple that I've bought. It was already S4S, which means surface 4 sides, so it was in really clean shape, and all I did was thinned it down just a hair in my thickness planer, because that's what I made these drawer boxes out of. Just gave it a really nice premium feel, and frankly, with the price of either a premium Baltic birch, 1/2 inch, which is what I would normally, look to make a drawer this size and this functionality out of, that stuff's running about 75 bucks a sheet. It took very little of this maple. That frankly, the deal that I bought it on Facebook with, I think I paid $250 a board foot for this stuff, and it took very little of it to make these drawer sides. So very simple construction though, just joined up 3 lengths for each the sides and the backs, and used biscuits for alignment purposes. Clamped them up, left them overnight, came back the next day, and slapped them together. And then what you'll see in the follow-up pictures later is that where I screwed them together, I did use some walnut. I made some walnut dowels out of some or sapele dowels out of some drops, and filled in those screw holes for what I think is an even better look. So this is just a lot of rinse and repeat here, so I won't force you to watch the entire process of all the drawers, but was happy with how they came out. So all in all, what I'll tell you is that making yourself a nice piece of furniture, finding some wood on a deal, can let you do some experimentation that you might not normally do if you were out paying full retail for some of this type of lumber. But what I really want to encourage you to do is to get out there and try, because you just don't know what it is that you're capable of doing until you've given it your all. And that's my encouragement for you today, is just find a way to put that creativity to some great use. We all have it, and I just want to thank you again for watching, for your continued support. And if you would please, if you feel like I've earned it, give this video a like, and if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel so that you can see future videos as they come available. Thanks very much. Take care.